You're starting?
Yeah, sure, I can.
All right.
I'll actually start this podcast episode.
No, you won't. Welcome back, everyone.
confidence-
Today is episode. What is the episode? 28?
You caught me off guard. I don't know.
I forget. I'm pretty sure it's episode 28. I could be tripping. 28 or 29. Dang it! Now I'm curious. Let me go on Apple Podcasts and look this up.
28.
28. This is 28. All right.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 20.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 28 of Waves on the Shore, where Jaron does not get to do the intro. We've got some stuff lined up today. We've got some new music to talk about, and then we've got the regular segments, What Are We Listening To, and Who the Frick, which is being hosted by myself today. We're switching it up, giving Jaron a break from the segment. He's now staring into your soul, but of course, listeners cannot see that. So,
yeah, that's for the thumbnail.
I like that, actually. Before we get into this podcast, if you're unaware, Jaron has started his own YouTube channel, which you should absolutely check out. Jaron,
check it out.
No, it's Songs and Sunsets now. You changed it.
Well, it's just. Oh God. Why? How come whenever I go to talk, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, it's Songs and Sunsets, and then a little dash, and then my name.
Yeah.
So if you just type in that, it should show up. Hopefully.
Search it up, subscribe, like. He's got some videos up. They're actually quite hilarious. He's got
by the time this comes out, there should hopefully be at least like 3, maybe. We'll see.
I'm gonna pressure myself into finishing this video tonight, because then when this podcast comes up, if the video isn't out, it's gonna look really stupid on me. So I actually have my top 10 Florida Georgia Line songs coming soon.
Oh, really?
Because it was very spontaneous, but I was like, you know what? Literally everyone and their mom has asked me to do a top 10 Florida Georgia Line songs video. So it's out now. Go check that out as well.
You know what could be a cool thing?
What?
And we could do this on the podcast, and I'm not going to cut this because people can give their opinion if they want to, but they seem to never do that anyway, so who cares? But I think a cool idea would be, like, I had an idea of doing, like, informal album. I don't want to call it a review or like a top 10 list or like ranking, but like kind of like what we do with movies, but maybe like put it on my channel, or maybe just do it
just for an album.
A thing for the podcast. Like I was thinking specifically for Josh Turner's albums, because I don't know if you've listened to like most of them.
I haven't listened through all of them. I've listened through some, but it's been like a while too. So
okay, so I thought that might be fun, because it'd kind of be like our movie thing. I don't know.
Jaron just likes Josh Turner a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's been 5 years. It's been more than 5 years since his last album. I was listening to his newest album and on the way home from work today, and I was like, damn, man, it's tough out here. I'm a Pacers fan. I'm a Josh Turner fan. It's rough out here, man. It's wait. What's Olivia Rodrigo say? God, it's brutal out here.
Oh my God. I didn't even know where you were going with that one until you said it. You had the sass and everything.
Yeah,
like
she does that, and I'm a big Olivia Rodrigo fan. I've been watching High School Musical, the series, season 3, bro.
You're crazy if you think I knew who Olivia Rodrigo was before the music, by the way. I had no clue who she was.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people didn't.
Oh.
I did, though. I've been an OG fan from the beginning.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, so
hey, we're doing a podcast.
We are. So anyways, welcome back. We are now going to move into the actual, like, the beef, the good stuff of the podcast. We're going to talk about some new music. We've got 2 albums and a song here we're going to talk about. Jaron, which one do you want to start off with?
I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just do the song first, and then we can go into the albums. Let's do that.
So,
and
okay. So
we
both went to intro it. So
That's
the song
hilarious.
we've got today, the one we were going to talk about, is the new Parker McCollum single. He dropped "Handle on You." It came out just about a week ago now, August 5th, I believe. "Handle on You."
I think so.
And Jaron was like, "Hey, yo, we should talk about this." And I didn't disagree, because I am quite a fan of this song. But Jaron, I'll let you kind of take the reins here.
So I've only listened to this song once. And when I suggested it to you, I hadn't even listened to it yet. So I just remember seeing people say stuff about it, and I liked the album, the single cover. I liked the cover.
The cover is
for it.
really nice on it, actually.
And I was like, let's just talk about it. I don't know. And I feel like we haven't talked about Parker a lot on the podcast.
It's been a while.
So I was like, that'd be a good opportunity. But anyway, thoughts on the song itself. It's definitely one of on the better side of Parker's discography, I think.
I think especially, like, post-signing label Parker, this is this is one of the better pieces of music we've gotten, which is no diss to, like, his album Gold Chain Cowboy. I really liked it, but it's just, like, this... I don't want to say it feels like vintage Parker McCollum, but it feels like original Parker McCollum. It doesn't feel like any mainstream artist on his label could have sang this song, which I think is a fair criticism of some of his recent music. Is like, okay, it's not bad, but it's also not what necessarily made him special back when he was still in Texas. Whereas this song, I think it's a nice little return to form, a new form.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you completely. I do think that this song, to me, I think it does kind of feel a little bit like old vintage, in quotations, vintage Parker, but at the same time, like I feel like the Limestone Kid and Probably Wrong, anything after Probably Wrong feels very differently. Yeah, to me.
And I don't know if he can top those. Which is I don't mean that as like an insult. I just mean that as I don't know if he can top what he did with Limestone Kid and Probably Wrong. Specifically, Probably Wrong, which I will still fight.
It's just kind of weird to me because it feels like it really kind of does feel like two different artists.
He's one of the people you can, like, I think the most see the influence the label and the bigger producers have had on him, because, like, you know, there's a lot of, like, you'll get a lot of smaller artists that then they'll sign on to, like, a big label, but they've always kind of been doing that, right? They've always been striving after that sound that you're gonna get on the radio. I just swatted a fly with my bare hand and hit it, so, like, hold that L. But oh geez, now I've lost my train of thought, but that was cool.
The fact that you said hold that L.
Yeah.
Trash talking a fly. Bruh.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, there's some smaller...
I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay.
I do. There are some smaller artists that, like, they'll sign to a big label and they go out making music that sounds like your standard, like, new young guy, new kid on the block to a big label country radio star. So then it's not really a surprise because they've always been after that sound, you could tell. Whereas I think Parker, he was so unique because he wasn't even, like, particularly, like, one of these rock country guys. Like, his earlier stuff, specifically Probably Wrong we're talking about, it was still, like, soft rock, but I found, like, his style was very unique. It was very delicate. His voice complemented it really well. But I think since he signed on, it's been a lot more, like, energetic, party, get the crowd going songs, the kind of things you're going to open a tour with.
Sure. And so, I think that makes sense a little bit. I mean, the transition definitely makes sense to me, but it's
it was
fascinating
inevitable
to me. And I actually thought about making a video about it, but it's fascinating to me just how he has changed. Like, and I don't even think it's, well, I guess it depends on who you are. I don't necessarily think it's a bad change. I think sometimes I might feel that way. Because sometimes I find myself, like with Gold Chain Cowboy, I'd be listening to... I've never been a huge fan of Pretty Heart. And maybe I've been vocal about that before. And to me, it's just kind of like... I don't know. I miss, like, Blue-Eyed Sally. Like, I miss that. You know? And it's like... That Parker, I feel like, is just gone. Somebody murdered him. And... every time I hear old Parker, I feel like I'm hearing a ghost, to get really dark.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
But
Though.
I think that's kind of true.
The thing is, you get glimpses of it on Gold Chain Cowboy with a song like Heart Like Mine, but there's something unique about old Parker, because he wasn't dropping songs like Pretty Heart or what was the one single, To Be Loved by You, stuff like this. And it's not necessarily saying they're bad songs, but they're very much standard songs. Whereas when you go back and you look at the intricacies and the storytelling and just it all just seems so original, like some fun wordplay. Like he was on Things Are Looking Up. Who is he talking to? Oh geez, now I'm completely blanking. But it all just seemed a lot more original, and I think what was interesting to me about Parker when I first found him was when I looked at him, he looked like someone that I would expect to hear Gold Chain Cowboy from. But when I found him, you listen to his music, it's like, oh, like I heard Probably Wrong. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is like different. This isn't what I was expecting. This is really cool. And I feel like now he's more what you'd expect. If you just found him today by looking at him, he's kind of what you'd expect now. But, and that's still no diss to the music. I'm pretty sure Gold Chain Cowboy still made my top 10 albums of last year, even if it was slightly a guilty pleasure in some ways. But, it's just different Parker. New Parker's different Parker. But Handle on You is the new single. And I think it's an absolute bop. I think it's like a good fusion. If we're going to use old Parker, new Parker, I think this is a healthy balance where he can satisfy both his new mainstream fans and the people that have been with him since the Limestone Kid era. I think the chorus is catchy as heck. Have you still only... Sorry.
I do.
You've only heard it once, right?
Lyrics. Yeah, there's a lyric...
Is it the drunkard one?
There's something about... He says... Crap. He says something about there's like a play with the word fourth and fifth. Or something like that. What's
After all this back and forth, a fifth won't do.
That's what he says. And I like that. I like that a lot. But, I don't know. It's still... I don't know. I still feel like I want old Parker back.
You sound like a Drake fan. I want the old Drake. I miss the old.
Maybe Parker. I am a Drake fan.
I miss the old Parker. Straight from the gold. Okay, I'm not singing a Kanye song. But yeah, I think there is actually quite a bit of fun wordplay on this. I really like the one line in the kind of catch of the second verse when he says, I tell myself I should quit, but I don't listen to drunks. And it's kind of just this like never ending, like the more you think about it, it's just a circle that kind of like, it's one of the funnier lines that I've heard this year.
Pretty good.
In general, I think I like the circular motion of this song, like the repetition. Like he starts and ends each verse with the same line. The chorus, the melodies kind of just loop like up and down and in a circle. And like, you know, I finally got a handle on you. I think it's really catchy. I think it's really good.
Hold up.
What?
There's a special edition of Gold Chain Cowboy that adds one song.
Oh, Blanco County Rain?
Yeah.
It's actually a decent song.
But why is that?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why we couldn't just make an 11-song album.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. I don't like that. I think that's stupid.
It's like what Kane Brown did a few years ago with Experiment when he just kept adding songs to it. It's like, dude, the album's been out for like 2 years. How are you still adding songs to it? Not like a deluxe, just like
he's still
releasing
making the album.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like Donda 2, but Kane Brown.
That's
Maybe
funny.
Kanye copied Kane Brown. I'm talking about Kanye West too much.
Yeah. Donda.
It just dawned upon me that we should move on to the next thing.
I don't want to move on. To move on. That was a really nice transition. That was really nice. I'm sorry. But I just really want to... Parker's fit, bro. And Handle on You's cover.
Yes, bro.
Red with the blue, bro?
Completely... Wait, are you saying good or bad?
No, it's great.
That's what I'm saying. He looks sharp. He kind of looks like if you pulled up to your grandma's like that, she'd call you a handsome young man.
I ain't just a handsome young man. I ain't just handsome. No, if I be looking like that. No, I'm not just handsome.
It's very Western. I've noticed,
I like it.
lately, I feel like Parker,
But it just dawned on me that we should move on to the next...
All right, I don't need to finish my point. It's okay. So, next up, we're going to talk about the John Anderson tribute album. It just came out. When did this come out? Bro. About a week ago?
It came out just this past Friday.
Just this past Friday, yeah. So a week ago. Almost.
6 days ago.
6 days ago, this John Anderson tribute album came out where a bunch of artists came together to cover their favorite John Anderson song. The album is called Something Borrowed, Something New, a tribute to John Anderson. There are 13 songs. It is 45 minutes. Do you have any specific standouts or things you want to talk about?
Yes. I think this is one of the best albums that has come out this year.
Okay.
And I realize that it's just a compilation tribute album, so it's but still, I think it's really, really good. I really like it. So we're going to talk about another album, which is also good, but this one is the one that I keep coming back to.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely tough to compare it because it's a compilation album,
true.
So it's hard to stack up. But as far as a compilation album goes, I do think on the whole, it's really good. There's just one specific issue I have with one song that I will get to eventually.
I might know what song it is, but I'll let you.
I bet you know what song it is, but I'll let you. You seem more passionate about this one, so I'll, best album of the year. So let's talk about this one.
I've always liked. It's weird because I've never been a big John Anderson fan, but anytime I hear a song by him, I've always really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And John, what am I saying? Josh Turner covered crap. What John Anderson song did he cover? I don't remember, but it's on Country State of Mind, the cover album that Josh did, and it's really good. It's Got It Made. That's what it is. And John Anderson's actually on that song. He sings it. It's really good. But anyway, what I was saying is that I just really like so many of these songs. I don't really like Seminole Wind, the Luke Combs song. I'll talk about that more in a second, but this is the version of Luke that I want, and I actually talk about this in my upcoming YouTube video. But
shameless plug from Jaron. Imagine plugging your own channel on your own podcast. This guy. Subscribe to
Bro, this podcast is literally based on... Okay, so Seminole Wind is bro, Luke yells at one point.
I was going to say, when I was driving home, I had this on while I was driving home from work a few days ago. And when it's right at the end and Luke just completely lets it go. And it was one of those where you sit back, you let go of the wheel and pray you don't crash. You're like, okay, you have to just sit there and appreciate we went there. We did that.
Yeah.
It's I like that. That was...
Yeah. I want to know why, if Luke's music had this kind of vibe, bro.
I know.
I don't know. It'd be
some
crazy.
More lo-fi Western style. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it
really piano, does. Bro. The piano sounds so good.
It does. I really like how it starts. And one thing that I found interesting is at least in the first verse, and especially on the first listen, Luke doesn't he sounds like Luke, but at the same time, he kind of sounds a little weird. It's not quite to the level of was it Cole Swindell, I think, had that one song where he literally just sounded like Dierks Bentley.
Yeah.
It's not quite that bad, but I think it's gotten, as I listen to it more, I've adjusted to it, but I think Luke is just kind of singing differently, and it just sounds different. I don't know how else to put that. And it kind of, I don't know if you experienced that, but his voice sounds a little bit different to me.
I don't remember thinking that, but I'm gonna listen back. I'm gonna listen for it now when I go back to it.
And maybe you'll just be like, Jaron, you're tripping. Shut up. But also, besides that, the Eric Church song "Mississippi Moon," we get groovy, vibey Eric Church, just
soul Eric Church. We get soul Eric Church,
and that's my favorite Eric Church. So Mississippi Moon, give me more of that.
So, I've got through this album almost 2 times. I listened straight through it the first time. And then in preparation, I just kind of had it on shuffle in the background. I think naturally Luke Combs has the standout. He always finds a way to make it like the Luke show. He's like that kid. That's just, it always somehow winds up being about him. But if you're going to drop a cover as good as his cover of Seminole Wind, that's how you're going to end up being the runner of the show. That's how you're going to wind up being in the spotlight. I also thought, like, back to back, Seminole Wind and When It Comes to You from Sturgill Simpson, I thought those are both really well done. Straight Tequila Night, the Ashton McBride cover, I really think she knocked that out of the park. The only problem I have with this album that I alluded to earlier is the Brothers Osborne song, okay?
Oh.
Is this the issue you thought?
I wasn't 100% positive, but no. I thought, honestly, you might complain about, like, I thought you were going to complain about something with the Luke song.
No, I really like the Luke song.
But I was very wrong.
No, it's the Brothers Osborne song. Right, so, like, what is the vocal thing going on with his voice? What's the filter on his voice for? Like, it literally... What?
I guess I haven't noticed it.
How? It sounds like he's singing into a DSI.
I've listened to this album at least 3 or 4 times now, at least.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like you're listening to his voice through, like, the sound system of a Chrysler that just got thrown off a bridge. Like...
Oh, shoot.
It's...
Why is my audio...
It sounds so...
No, I'm just going to leave that in.
Bad. Like, pull out the Brothers Osborne song right now. Like, it sounds old, but not in a good way. It's just annoying. There's, like, a really high ring to it in the higher parts of his voice. I don't know, man. Like, are you listening to it right now? Should I give you a second? Yeah. If you listen to the John Anderson album... I'm not going to even say let me know if you heard it, because you heard it. It's a matter of if it bothers you or not. Because if it doesn't bother you, you're fine. For me, it just really threw me off, because it didn't fit. It's not like the whole album was, like, supposed to be in this really old vibe. And it's not even that I don't mind if you mix a song to make it sound older. But, like, the way they did this one, it's so eerie and ringy and rough, and it doesn't mix well, and I just... hate the way it sounds.
Okay. So I think I barely picked up on it, but I just kind of, it's kind of like when people put like filters. Yeah. It's like, it just feels like a filter. It's been put through some kind of filter to kind of make it sound like maybe it's dated. Like, it kind of sounds crackly to me.
Yeah, but not in a good way.
Maybe it doesn't really bother me.
Well, it bothers me.
And guys, it bothers them.
It bothers me, man.
I don't... You can hear it a lot better on the chorus, I think.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't like like I said, like, if the intent was to make the song sound more dated, a little more vintage, I like the idea, but I think there's better ways to go about it, because, like, as far as making, like, a crackly... rough sounding recording, this one just sounds terrible, and it's that ring at the top that I cannot get out of my head. But
didn't FGL do like a crackly effect with one of their songs, like at the beginning of crap, what song is it? Like, it's the one where it's one of the sexy time songs where they're getting ready to, like, you know what I'm talking about? Crap, what is it?
From their new album?
I think it's off of their second to last album. So,
Can't
the
Say
one
I
with
Ain't
Simple.
Country?
Yeah. Crap. Now we're both just like... But they do have like they put a crackly effect on one of those songs.
Well, they have like the interludes, like Brother Javel, like All Gas No Breaks, Talladega.
No, not an
interlude. Those are like phone calls.
Talk You Out of It. It's Talk You Out of It. That's the one.
Doesn't use that effect.
I thought it.
What? It absolutely does not. There's no way.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm whack.
No.
Maybe I'm tripping.
You're tripping. Because I just did my Florida Georgia Line top 10, so I've been listening to Florida Georgia Line. And no, that song... Am I tripping? Can you listen to it after? I don't know. Look, the Brothers Osborne song, that's the only issue I have with this album. I cannot listen to that song simply because the way the vocals are mixed. It borderline gives me a headache. I sound like a Karen saying that, but I don't mess with it. I don't like it. It could have been really good. Because I do think the song fits Brothers Osborne. They picked the right song to cover, but no pun intended being like judge a book by its cover. But I think with that, unless you had anything more to say, we can move on to the final album we are going to talk about today.
All I have to say is that I'm upset because I vividly remember hearing like some kind of effect on an FGL song, and now I have no idea what I'm thinking.
We'll find it later.
I'm upset. Anyway,
we're going to transition.
It's a good album. Go listen to it.
Yeah. Go listen to the John Anderson. And I was
sorry.
Did you drop your chair?
I did.
Listeners don't know what's happening.
Ronnie Dunn released an album. Transition.
Yes, Ronnie Dunn dropped his new album, 100 Proof Neon. Let me pull it up here. There we go. This just came out last week as well. A lot of people were buzzing about it. What was I going to say? Ronnie Dunn, kind of in the hot seat. I know at this... Oh, I don't know if I can say that yet. I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Because I don't know when said video is going to go up, but... Like... Anyways. You can just cut that out, because I don't know what just happened. Because I was going to say something, but then I realized... I'm
going to have so much more work at editing this podcast episode than I normally do.
Just this part. Just write down the timestamp. Because I was going to say, like...
Bruh, I don't...
It makes sense, because, like, Grady made a video about Brooks and Dunn, but that video's not up yet, so... That's why
the timestamp's going to be different for me than it is for you. I don't even care. I'll find it.
You'll kill me. Just cut that part out.
Oh.
All right, my bad. I should.
Where's...
So Ronnie Dunn, last week, he put out his new album, 100 Proof Neon. This is his fourth solo album, if my memory serves me correct. His first since 2016, Tattooed Heart, unless you want to consider Redone, an album which was like his covers from back in the day, which I'm telling you, I still go back to It Never Rains in Southern California. I still go back to that cover every now and then. But the new one, 100 Proof Neon, is out. There's some familiar faces like Parker McCollum, who we talked about earlier. And, who's the other one? Oh, no. I can see him. Jake Worthington is on this album as well. You got some songs. You got Where the Neon Lies, which you might recognize from the Tristan Merez album. I'm going to come out and say, right, so I like this song, but... I like this album, but I did kind of get bored of it.
So I honestly feel similar. I would probably describe my sentiment as similar to yours, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I feel like musically, there's nothing to hate. I think the way he fuses the rock and the country into this honky-tonk setting works really well. The vocals are good. He's got some good harmonies with the background vocalist. He's got some good features, obviously. Songs are catchy. I just think it runs a little thin thematically. Like, these are... I mean, maybe it's fitting because, like, 100 Proof Neon, but these are all just, like, drinking songs about a heartbreak under a neon sign.
I think that's the point. And
yeah.
I don't... That's not what I... But that's not what I always want from an album. I think most of these songs... for the most part, give off that vibe, that honky-tonkin'.
Yeah.
It's literally... I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a social media post where Ronnie Dunn said something that he just wanted to make, like classic 90s honky-tonk country, and that's
in which
pretty
case,
much what this
he
is.
succeeded.
Yeah.
I, like, as far as something to throw on in the background, I think this album is great, but if I had to sit down and, like, pick it apart critically, I think that's my main criticism, is that it's not that you can't make an album and focus on one specific thing for the whole album. And the reason I say that specifically is because the album I'm bringing for What Are We Listening To is literally, like, hyper-focused on one thing. But I just think this is, like, a collection of not mismated songs. I don't want to make it sound like they don't belong together. But it's like, these could have gone on any honky-tonk album and they would have sounded great. It's a collection of really good honky-tonk country songs, Drinking Under a Neon Sign. I think the music's great. I think it's good for the background. Just lacks a little bit of like diversity. That's all. I think it's good. Though.
Yeah. I would. That's the thing. I want more to say about this album, and it's not. It's definitely not a bad album.
Oh no. Like,
especially sonically, it's really good.
Yeah, I don't want people to think I think this is a bad album.
I still can't remember. Like, it's weird. There's 2 features on here, and I still can't remember if I like. They didn't stand out to me, and I don't even really remember Rodab Abilene. Although I think I remember, or Abilene, whatever it is, and. I don't know. I think I've heard some people say that Road to Abilene was really good. Maybe Grady put something about it on his story once. I can't remember. And that's not. I'm not saying it's a bad song by any means. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. And I was on top of just it feeling a little samey. I think maybe that's how I feel. It also kind of threw me off when I listened to Where the Neon Lies without Tristan Merez, and I'm like...
Yeah, when I heard that for the first time, I was like,
It's definitely... We're definitely biased because we've heard the version with Tristan Merez, but after... I've listened to this multiple times now, and I just prefer the Tristan Merez version. This version is not bad, but I thought it was interesting that he chose. I would say it's a pretty good honky-tonk song.
Oh, I think it's a great one. It's one of my favorite songs in that album. But this is a good point I want to talk about, because I feel like I've noticed this more and more recently, where people are just straight up putting the same song on different albums. So you've got, like, Hicks Tape 2...
I think that's, to some degree, I think that's always been a little bit of a thing.
Maybe I've only started picking up on it now. But it just feels like...
I do think bigger artists are starting to do it more,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because when Hayley Witters did it with all the... with the devil...
Oh!
The devil always makes me think twice. That's what it's called. And then Chris, because that was a Chris Stapleton... he wrote that. She cut it. And then before she got bigger, she's still relative. Like, she hasn't like broken through. But at this point, she's made it.
She's made it. I agree. She's got a good following now.
And then 2 years later, Chris puts it on his newest album, which I think it's like, okay. And I would say those versions are very different.
That's the thing, though, right? It almost feels like a cover where they're different. The examples I'm thinking is like Hicks Tape 2. They had
Larry Fleet.
The Larry Fleet song, In Love With My Problems. In Love With My Problems. But that was legitimately with John Party. That was the same song, right? They just put the same MP3 file on 2 different albums. You also got...
That is interesting.
You've got... oh, good grief. What is with me not being able to think of names? There's the Midland song with John Party. Long Neck Way to Go. Holy crap. Long Neck Way to Go was released as a single from Midland. It was on their Last Resort Greetings From album. Now there it is popping up on John Party's track list for Mr. Saturday Night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then you've got Ronnie Dunn,
we think
Where the Neon Lies. And it's just like...
Is it a different version?
No, it's the exact same song. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, whose is it?
That is weird.
And I don't know how I feel about it. You know what I mean? Like,
it is happening more. No, I take back what I said. It's happening more often, and it's more egregious.
It's just been... Yeah, because, like, if you do a cover, like, the thing with the Chris Stapleton and Hayley Witters, right? Those are 2 wildly different versions of the song. And it's like, even if, like, an artist, like... Even if John Party did his own rendition of Long Neck Way to Go. Now, it's tough because he was already featured on the song, which is where it's weird with, like, the Tristan Merez Ronnie Dunn one, because it's like... Is it a cover for Ronnie Dunn? Because he was already featured on the original. But, like, let's just say John Party... Let's say Mr. Saturday Night was, like, I don't know, a Kane Brown song. And it was some pop trash, right? And John Party was like, hey, yo, I could turn this into a honky-tonk. If you put your own spin on it, you make a cool cover. I have no issue with that. That's been going on forever. It's just this whole, like, putting the exact same file on multiple different albums. I don't know if I like it.
Or very, very similar. Yeah. It is weird. Because I will say, the Tristan Merez Ronnie Dunn versions. They're different, but they're not that different.
Are they? I swear they're the same instrumental, just with like Ronnie takes the full song.
They are different.
They are different. I'll have to listen back.
I'm pretty sure
they're very similar though. Maybe not the exact same.
But in vibe they're similar. Yeah. It was my point. So I think it's interesting that it's worth noting that Chris Stapleton. I hate you, man. I can't. I'm getting bullied today. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the Chris Stapleton and Hayley Whitters versions of The Devil Always Made Me Think Twice, they're so different. And then we have all these other cases where they're just not very different at all. And it seems to be happening more often, and I would say that I don't like it. There's a lot of things that are happening in country music right now that I don't like. Like Zach Bryan. Stop.
Bro, what's this pancake making music album? If that album drops...
Leave the pancake making music to Jack Johnson. Leave it to him. Get out of here.
If that album drops, I will put out a review that is simply a video unedited of me making pancakes, okay? If this album comes to fruition, that will be my review. But yeah. Ronnie Dunn album, it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. Just thematically, it's pretty samey. It runs down the same line. He kind of beats the same horse quite a bit, but the music's still really good. And as far as something to throw on in a public setting, I think this is pretty much all you can really ask for. So the Ronnie Dunn album, I give it a thumbs up. If we're using the new podcast rating system, I would say it's the best thing of all time.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
It's the greatest album of all time.
I would say both albums that all the music we've covered so far is the best thing ever, for sure.
Yeah, it's like they're all the best thing in the world. Yeah. But with that, I think we can move on to everyone's favorite segment. What are we listening to? Where we bring an album.
Whoa, no, I got a good one. We should start saying that it's better than Experiment, or it's worse than Experiment. Experiment is the.
But then everything's gonna be better than it. No, I'm kidding. No, I like some songs from that.
That's a good point.
I remember back in.
That's a good point.
Quick detour before we go to what are we listening to. I remember back in the day when like Experiment was still kind of new. There were songs on that album that like legitimately gave me hope, and I feel like I gave Kane Brown the benefit of the doubt for a long time, and even then I still will because of his voice. But it's like, you know, back in the day when he was like leading Boyfriend Country. All right, so exactly why is my Apple Music not loading? I was gonna pull up the track list, but back in the day, Kane Brown was popping off. I would go through that album, and I'm thinking songs like Short Skirt Weather. I wasn't a big hater of Homesick, if I'm being honest. My Where I Come From. I was sitting here thinking, like, Kane Brown, I see the potential here, right? And then he dropped some trash here and there. He dropped Famous Friends with Chris Young, which I still just passionately am not a fan of. But then, like, you know, you get his cover of Believe with Brooks and Dunn. You're like, holy crap.
Oh my gosh, that's really
Kane
good.
Brown, you're sitting there again like Kane Brown's got
Whiskey Sour.
potential. Let me get here, right? And then, so you're riding the high of Believe, and he drops some
you're
more.
taking us through the timeline, okay.
He drops some more, like, trash, like that Mixtape Volume 1. What was that, right? But then, of course, you got, is it BFE, I think? And you're like,
I have no idea.
I think it is BFE. Of course, Apple Music will not let me see things. And so you listen to that mixtape album, you're like, holy crap, that was bad, but BFE, man, that gives me hope. And then he'll come out with like Whiskey Sour, and you're like, this is the time, bro. Kane's turning it around. We're about to get Grand. Bro, then he comes out with Grand. Okay? And I still don't know if I should give him the benefit of the doubt, because he still is capable of Whiskey Sour, but... Oh, anyways.
Yeah, Believe in Whiskey Sour are like
fantastic.
Yeah, Whiskey Sour is a song that I still like. I probably listened to it just a couple of days ago. It's
oh my gosh, I actually think it might crack the top 22 of 2022 for me. It might.
I do too. Did it come out earlier this year, or was it the end of? I think you're right. It came out at the beginning of this year.
Yeah,
it was like really close to the beginning, I think.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's a really good one. But this is not. Let's not talk about Kane anymore.
Yeah, let's move on to some better music. It is What Are We Listening To, where we bring a song, an EP, an album, or all of the above. just what we've been listening to. And so, who wants to go first here? Would you like to go, or do you want me to go first?
You could go first.
All right. So
I'm yawning, stretching.
So I was going to bring a certain piece of music, not anything special. I was like, yeah, I'll bring this album, kind of cool, whatever. Until like 4 days ago, I came across this album and I was like, right, this is what I'm bringing, because I saw a TikTok. It was a TikTok. I follow different people on TikTok that like give different music reviews or their thoughts on music, whatever. You know the people I'm talking about. Sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background, just FYI. But yeah, one of these guys that I follow, he put out a video and he'll do like little album reviews. And by reviews, he kind of just like posts the track list and like gives a rating of each song and an overall rating and like 2 sentences of thoughts. And he dropped this one on this album that I'd never heard of from a guy that I had kind of never heard of. And the thing was just like 10 out of 10, best album of the year. He's like unbelievably sad. Can't believe this wasn't out earlier or whatever, something like that. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to straight up drop a 10 out of 10 out of nowhere and call this the best album of the year, I'm checking that out, right? I have to. And holy crap, is it actually really good. So it is, and it's from such a weird person. So let me explain. It is called Jamie by Montel Fish. It is listed as Christian, but it's like very loosely Christian. It's not worship music at all or anything like that. It's just he's a Christian guy. And so the reason I'd seen him before is for some reason he posts like little like 55-second like motivational videos or something on YouTube. And I'd seen like a few of them pop up in my recommended a while ago, and I was just like, what is this? And if you go to his page on streaming services, his albums are like bedroom gospel, right? Bedroom lo-fi, stuff like this. And it's all like inspirational, instrumental music, whatever. And then there's a 3-year gap. And then out of nowhere, he just drops Jamie. And so it is like, it is really sad. It's 10 songs. It's 27 minutes. It goes really fast. Some of the songs are like a minute and a half long. But it's kind of just a short little walk through, like almost like a snow globe view of this guy's relationship as it fails. This person he was gonna marry, and then like right before it, I guess, fell through. I don't know if Jamie is an alias or the name of the actual person, Sam Hunt type beat. But yeah, it's like so straightforward. The songwriting, it's nothing crazy at all. It's just very raw, like. And you go through, you can kind of just read the song's titles and get an idea. Like Last Dance, Fall in Love with You, and I Go 1,000 Miles. No, it all flows kind of like one continuous song. Like you won't notice that you're on to And I'd Go 1,000 Miles. You'd still think you're listening to Fall in Love with You. Other cool thing he does is, other than Enough for You, which is like an interlude. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Every time he says you on this album, there's like a little, he does this little, vocal thing where it does like you whatever, and depending on the song, the vibe, it feels so different. And as the album goes on, you kind of feel the energy drain from it, and you kind of all of a sudden it's over like a more minor chord, and it really, the note he hits really makes it sad. So this whole thing across the whole album, just you see it slowly get like sadder and more defeated, and the vocals get more and more like kind of tired almost in a way. It's really cool, man. The songs will end with little like voice memo kind of things of him just like questioning stuff. There's a little bit about the Bible at the end of one of the songs when he's trying to relate to oh good grief, now I'm gonna blank on the Bible story. But it's a cool album. It's as for the sound of it, I should explain, because it's almost like an really basic, sad indie pop kind of sound. All the songs are just simple guitar ballads with like a bunch of vocal layers. That's kind of all it is. Whether it's an acoustic or an electric guitar, they're all super slow, super simple. But it's like, I love it. And when I was talking about Ronnie Dunn, how the topics kind of ran thin, this whole album is just one continuous story, but it's told so simply and it's so easy to follow and it's so short, just being like 27 minutes. It's so cool. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. It seems at least interesting, at least.
Oh yeah, even if you don't like it per se, I think most people could appreciate it and appreciate what he's doing on these songs. It's all very cohesive. It's all very well thought through, despite feeling so like the songs feel very much like a last stitch, like pouring out emotion kind of thing. It's cool. So Jamie by Montel Fish. That's what I was listening to.
I do like that I can read the titles one by one and kind of see that there's kind of there's this story of a relationship starting and a bond forming and then that bond breaking, that kind of thing.
Well, you can see, yeah, and even with the you thing, you can see like fall in love with you, and I go 1,000 miles. For you. The catches, and I go 1,000 miles for you. Enough for you, and then there's like talk to me, falling out of love with you, destroy myself for you. I can't love you. It's really cool.
Yeah,
cool concept album. I like it.
Yeah.
So you're up.
All right, I'm up.
He's up.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I have a big. I might. There's a very high likelihood that I'm forgetting like an album that I've been like listening to a bunch. Well, actually, here's what I'll do. I'll bring two things, but they're kind of not. Neither of them are like one's an EP and one is just like an artist, if that makes sense.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let me see if. Okay, so here I'll do this one first. This is very much a country thing. It's Gracie York.
I've heard that before. I've heard some music here.
Yes, you have. It's just her first EP, and I think it's just pretty solid. I was listening to her yesterday, and I was freaking listening to her amazing cover of Texas Rain. Such a good song, and I was like, I'm pretty sure she has older music that I haven't heard before, and so I went out of my way to go listen to it, and it's not as good as Sad Bird, but it's just different. It's more fleshed out, like country rock, got some rock ballads. Because Sad Bird was more of just an acoustic album, sad acoustic album. This one's a little bit more upbeat. It's also there's about 2 years in between these two.
Yeah,
and I don't know, it's just solid, easy listening, I think. And it's short, so it's not hard to digest. So that's my first one. Also, you can't really go wrong with Gracie York. She's easily up there.
She actually has bangers.
Yeah, she really does. She's easily up there for me with Bo Armstrong, or who else do I like that's relatively small? Palmer Anthony is pretty good. Who's the guy that I discovered because of you? Crap. He has a song called Burnt Orange.
Clayton Mullen. Bro, Clayton Mullen's
pretty solid.
Still on my radar. Watch out for him.
I need to listen to more of him, but what I've heard from him I really like.
Love Goes. Country Central the other day just asked what's your favorite country song of the year so far, and I had to say it. I was like, bro, I still think it's Love Goes by Clayton Mullen.
Love Goes is good. You've heard Burnt Orange, right?
Oh yeah.
I really like Burnt Orange too. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying I really like it.
Well, I don't care which one you like better.
I'm probably missing some other smaller new artists, but Gracie York, check her out, please. And then I have
on the topic of small artists.
What?
I think probably like my favorite small artist is dropping an album this Saturday. J.W. Toby dropping his album.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, dude, this guy, I hated him for a bit. He took his music off streaming. And I was like, well, how are you going to do that, right? Because this was like, his two albums were like some of my most listened to things. And when I went on to listen to it, and I was like, well, where'd it go? Right? And so, anyways, then he posted after a bit. He was like, to those asking, yes, I deleted all my music from all platforms. I was like, okay, frick you. He basically says, like, he doesn't think the music was true to himself. He's just said it was the subject matter. He's, quote, so bland it pained me. I disagree. But anyways, he kind of rebranded, and he's dropping a new album this Saturday with 13 songs, including some of my favorites from the last 2 albums. They're coming back, so I get them back. Like Blue Eyes and For You are going to be back in my library. I'll be a happy man. But yeah, this Saturday, J.W. Towie dropping an album. Heart on Fire, I believe is what it's called. Check it out. It's so dope.
Oh.
It will be so dope.
That's very interesting. He's straight up just like, wow.
I respect it, but I hate it. It's like, dude, like,
yeah.
That drove me nuts for a bit. But I'm getting some of my favorite songs back on this new album, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so my other thing that I wanted to bring.
Yes, I completely cut you off.
Well, you're fine. Because that was interesting. Considering that I'd listened to a little bit of his stuff, not as much as you, but my other I'd like to bring another artist, and their name is Acoustic Trench. I don't know who they are or what their real name is because they seem to be just like kind of anonymous. And the story behind how I discovered them in the first place is a little weird. But really quickly, I'll say it's instrumental and it's just guitar. It's guitar. It's covers. It's just a really intricate, beautiful.
Jaron, I don't mean to cut you off again and make you edit more.
What?
I straight up just got a freaking notification to renew my virus protection. So that popped up on the screen. Why wouldn't it go to this monitor? It had to go to the monitor with Discord on it. Sorry, just so you know, so it's not in the final edit. This episode's brutal for you. This episode's brutal for you.
Okay, I'll just start over with
Yes, just go again.
All right. So the other artist I wanted to bring is called Acoustic Trench, and it's a bit of a weird way that I discovered them, but if I remember correctly, I was on YouTube and I had this video recommended to me, and all I saw was this guy playing a guitar. His head is out of the frame, and there's this dog laying there, and what song was it? He does acoustic covers, and
yeah,
I think it might.
Yeah. The album.
I think it might have been crap. This is gonna kill me. I don't remember what song it was exactly. And so I was like, wow, I really like this. It's just really pretty guitar. And it's like really good for just like throwing on the background if you're trying to work on something or maybe you're trying to read or whatever.
I know the exact music you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's what I did with it, and I was like, this is awesome. And as I kind of started to dig more into his Instagram and I was looking at his YouTube, I found out, so he has 2 dogs. This guy, I don't know we don't know his actual name. He's anonymous. And he plays these songs, he records these songs with his dog, and sometimes it seems like even sometimes his dogs will like play, like keep time with him and like play like a bass drum, which I don't know if that's like real or what. But some of his videos have that, and I was like, huh. It's a little bizarre, but it's kind of cool. But a really sad thing, and I'm not trying to make people cry, but this might
one of
make
the dogs die.
So, about just over a year ago, the dog that has been in literally every video, like it's the one that kind of looks like a golden retriever. It's like on every cover. The dog's name was Maple, and the dog died. And so ever since Maple died, he hasn't really like made any videos or anything like that. And I think he did one video. And it's kind of sad, and I'll get into it a little bit, but like, so he adopted that dog when she was a puppy. And then a couple of years ago, he adopted another dog named Cherry, who had kind of been, she was really skittish and like shy, because I think she had kind of come from an abusive like previous home. And so Maple had become like I don't know, it's weird because it's like a dog thing, but I went in depth and was like reading posts that this guy made and all this other stuff. I was like going through like old posts from like, I went down a rabbit hole with this thing, and and I was like, man, it just kind of sucks because like now he still has his other dog, but it's like Maple was kind of like this way for him to like both of them expressed how they felt through music, because he like played guitar for her and he lost that partner when she died.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, it just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of wholesome but also really sad at the same time. But the music is very, very good. He's really good at guitar. He does a cover of, like, he's done Careless Whisper.
The album looks really
Paradise
short.
by,
10 songs, 17 minutes.
Yeah. Paradise, Coldplay cover, really good. Even Numb by Linkin Park, when I saw that he did that, I was like, how do you cover Numb, like, and make it sound really pretty? And he does it, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And he does Wake Me Up When September Ends, like Green Day. He does the Last of Us main theme. Bro, he does Mia and Sebastian's theme from La La Land. I freaking love La La Land. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And, man, maybe I might actually have you watch that at some point, because it's a musical movie. It's got good music in it, so you might enjoy it. I'm not sure. But, man, I just recommend that you guys check it out. If you want to cry, scroll through his Instagram, just really get invested in this dog that he has, and then remember that it's dead.
That's so dark.
I know. But I don't know. I kind of felt like I just kind of dove into this, and I was like, dang it. Then I realized, like, when I realized Maple died, I was really sad.
Yeah.
But I don't regret discovering his music, because it's really good.
Yeah.
And the artist's name is Acoustic Trench. He does YouTube videos, and he's on Spotify. I don't know. He's probably on Apple Music and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah, go listen to it. Cool. It's pretty good. If you like instrumental, chill, acoustic stuff, I think it's technically classical guitar. I think is technically, I think that's what he plays with. Yeah, it's a classical guitar. But it's amazing. All right.
So we're going to move on to the final segment of today's episode. It is Who the Frick I'm Very Excited. Why am I very excited? Because I am in charge. I got to do the research this episode. I picked the artists. I picked the clues. I'm very interested to see how you're going to do. I feel like you're going to understand how tunnel vision your mind goes once you get it. It's a weird feeling. Yeah. You will probably blank. And then you'll hate yourself when you don't get it. I am very excited. It will be very validating for me to see you struggle.
What if I just don't?
That would be embarrassing.
What if I just...
If you know these... Here's the thing, right? I have some really good clues, but they're clues that I feel like if you know them, you're instantly going to be like, bang.
Sure.
Like this person. Okay. So, I don't know. All right. We're going to get right into it with the first artist. Clue number 1. Before they were a recording artist, this artist was a Division I FCS quarterback at Jacksonville State University, starting for them in 2008.
Huh, okay.
I don't know much about American football, but that sounds pretty good to me.
That is pretty good.
Starting quarterback for Jacksonville State University.
I feel like this person does pop country.
Well, that's your first clue, right? Football player.
Yeah.
Do you have a guess?
Huh. I have... Well, okay, I'll try to come up with one.
I need to get a timer pulled up for the next as well. How long? You give me 30 seconds?
Well, I usually give you a minute? But at this point, I might just stop using a timer because I barely use it in the first place. So, you can time me if you want. Oh, crap. Who do I want to... I'm kind of... Like, I feel like... I'm thinking like in the ballpark of like Cole Swindell, but I don't think it's him. And I feel like I did Cole Swindell once. I'm pretty sure I did do that once. Yeah, the tunnel vision's there for sure.
Yeah, you get it now.
Man.
I'm going to have to press you for an answer, man. I'm going to take your line. I'm going to have to press you for an answer.
Did we ever do Brett Young? Did I ever do Brett Young? I'm just going to guess Brett Young.
Brett Young? Wow, that is wrong. So, we're going to move on.
I was going to say, I did not get that. When you said, wow.
The second clue, I have some this person's all over the place. All right, so, This artist was also a contestant on season 5 of the CMT reality show Redneck Island.
Wait, shoot. No, bro, I've done this.
Wait, did you do this person before?
I might have done this person, but I'm forgetting who
No, because yours was Survivor. You did one with Survivor.
And then who else is... Okay, you're right. You're right. It was Survivor.
This is Redneck Island. I don't even know what that is. It was just on their Wikipedia, and then I googled it. I was like, cool.
Who would have? Who doesn't care enough? Who doesn't care enough? That's what this is. No one with dignity. Nobody with dignity. Watch me trash talk this person and watch this be a person I like. No one with dignity would do that, I feel like. Redneck Island? Okay. Is this a guy or a girl? What if this is a girl? I feel like it's a guy.
I'm not going to tell you, but a starting
no,
quarterback for Jacksonville State University.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. Jacksonville State. Okay, well... no, I don't. This is bad, man. I feel like... Who else? I don't think about pop country. I feel like this is a pop country artist. They don't have dignity. They don't have self-respect.
I love this. I love being on the other end of this.
You know what? I'm just gonna guess Chris Young.
No. Last clue. This is more one that this is your last clue. I gave you one that maybe you can work something out here. So this artist released an EP in 2013, 2015, 2016, and 2017. Before signing to Big Machine and releasing their debut album in 2019. Big Machine, 2019
Is this
debut
Chris
album.
Lane?
Is that your guess right away?
Yeah.
Chris Lane? No.
Okay. I don't... Who is it?
It's Riley Green.
Oh, wait, what? I didn't realize he was...
I know! I Googled him. I kind of came up with a list of names and then looked through to see who had more interesting stuff. Then I got on Riley Green's. I was like, this guy was a university quarterback. This guy was on a reality show.
I knew he played football. I guess I just didn't realize he would. I guess I forgot that he went to college. I think I knew that, but I think I forgot it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I didn't know where. Was it Jacksonville?
Jacksonville State.
And that's in Georgia. Or Alabama. It would be Alabama.
Probably.
Is that in Alabama?
Isn't Jacksonville in Florida?
Jacksonville State. Yeah, that sounds familiar now because I'm sure he's probably mentioned Jacksonville in the song. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
For 1.
Riley Green has
swing and a miss.
Well, okay, Riley's one of those guys that isn't afraid to do things. Yeah. So I could see him being on it. That's fair. Riley's got some dignity.
Yeah.
I'll take the L on that.
Yeah, you're gonna take another.
I had my heart set on a pop. When I think,
I know what you meant. I know what you were going for, but it was really funny because watch me be hating on this person, and then I like them, and I'm just oh.
Yeah. I like Riley Green. So
next artist. This artist was the first act signed to Dot Records, signed in 2014, but shortly after the label closed. And as a result, this artist was label-less until 2017 when they signed with UMG Nashville, but that partnership was short-lived when this artist wound up signing with Mercury Records in 2018. So basically, kind of mainstream, a lot of label issues, if that means anything.
Mercury Records.
Has that rung a bell?
Oh, it has.
Oh, you might get this fast.
Mercury Records. I know one for sure, but is this that person?
You have 3 guesses, so you might as well throw it out, and then if it's not...
I know. Who? But I'm trying to think. Who else do I know that's on Mercury Records? Because, crap, I know... Dang it, I know someone who, is relatively... Okay, so I know for a fact Chris Stapleton's on Mercury Records. And then... There's another artist that I know is on Mercury Records. And I feel like this might be them.
Them?
And I don't think this could be Chris... Huh?
I was mocking your voice crack. Keep going.
Bro, look, man.
You have full rights to mock my voice cracks. They just don't have it.
That's fine. Alright. Dang, this is really bothering me. I know... Crap, I know another artist who's on Mercury Records. I just can't think of who it is. It's there. It's on my... I'm going to guess Chris Stapleton.
It is not Chris Stapleton.
Yeah. I didn't think it was. This is going to kill me.
So, your next clue, in 2018, after landing their first number one hit since their debut album in 2014. Or wait, no, sorry. In 2018, after landing their first number one hit since their debut single in 2014, this artist joined Carrie Underwood on her Cry Pretty tour as the opening act.
This is Carly Pearce.
This is not Carly Pearce.
Are you serious?
Yep. So this is my last clue. This is where I think you're gonna get it.
I was trying to, bro. I was like, that was a shot in the dark.
That was gonna be so cold.
That would have been cold if it was her. That's what I was going for. All
right, big hint here. Last hint.
Oh wait, okay. Can you when did you in the first hint you said their debut album came out in 2018? Is that right? With Mercury?
No, they're. Wait, what? Hold on. I need to check.
I thought you said something along those lines. The first their date, like they had released EPs, but their debut album came out. Oh no! I'm mixing Riley Green with somebody else now. Am I?
Their first album was 2015. They were still with Dot Records at the time, which was founded in 2014. I don't even know Dot Records. I know. It just got because it went under so fast.
Yeah, I know UMG Nashville, and then I definitely
it's a division of UMG. So.
Yeah, Mercury. Wait a second. No.
Do you want the last hint? I think the last hint's big.
Okay, am I allowed to have... I don't remember. Maybe I've done this for you. I don't know. Can I have the first two hints again, just real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, just to...
I think you might as well get the third hint, too, with it, because, like, it's a big hint. Unless you want to go on...
Sure.
So...
Well, no, just...
Hint number one. I'll read all three, okay?
Yeah.
Hint number one. This artist was the first act signed to Dot Records, signed in 2014. But shortly after the label closed. And as a result, this artist was labelless until 2017 when they signed with UMG Nashville, but that partnership was short-lived when this artist wound up signing with Mercury Records in 2018. In 2018, after landing their first number one hit since their debut single in 2014, this artist joined Carrie Underwood on her Cry Pretty tour as the opening act. Hint number three, this artist is a duo.
Oh, wait, with Carrie Underwood.
Now you know the pain.
It's Dan and Shay.
Is that your guess, Dan and Shay?
Yes.
It is not Dan and Shay.
What? It's not Brothers Osborne, is it?
It's Maddie and Tay.
No. It's Maddie and Tay. I realized it right after I said that.
They've had so many label issues. And then 2018, that was Die From a Broken Heart. I forgot about
the label issues. And right after, I was like, it's not Brothers Osborne. And I was like, is it Dan and Shay? Because I'm pretty sure they toured with Carrie Underwood.
I think they did too. So that's not a bad guess.
That's why I guessed Dan and Shay right there. I don't know about enough Maddie and Tay, but I remember them having label issues.
Yeah.
No, that sounds familiar.
All right, well, Jaron's 0 for 2. This guy sucks.
You're pulling out... See, that's the thing. I forgot that Riley Green existed. Like, I knew he existed.
Dude, that's what happens. You just... Oh, jeez, I hit my mic. You just forget these things, like...
Well, no, that's not... Yeah. Like, I hadn't even... That's partially why I never even gave him the U. Because whenever I would think of artists, Riley Green was never someone that came to mind. And neither was Maddie and Tay. I never thought, maybe I should give Maddie and Tay to Evan. Well, so that doesn't help.
I beat you to them. So, final artist. Okay? Final artist. I have some weird clues. So I actually have 4.
Great. Oh, you have 4. Okay.
Because I felt bad. And because hint number 1's a throwaway, okay?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so
do I get 4 guesses then?
Yeah, I'll give you 4 guesses. Okay.
Okay.
Hint number 1. This artist's family were peanut farmers. I just kind of like that. I read
Coulter
that.
Wall.
No. Good guess, though, actually. I just read that and I was like, okay, I have to bring that. Bro, they're peanut farmers. That's just kind of funny.
Is that just really funny to you?
Yeah, like what do you do? I'm a peanut farmer. Don't stop though. I like my peanut butter.
Bro, Evan's out here hating on peanut farmers.
No, y'all are the real ones. Okay, so now it gets deep. A lot of death coming up, okay? So at the age of 19, right before moving to Nashville, this artist's brother was killed in a car accident. As a result,
Brian.
Yeah. You've heard the stories?
Oh yes,
Bro.
Oh yes.
You got
Give
that
me the rest
quick.
of the clues though.
Yeah. So
it's funny that Sorry.
I remember
I
seeing
was
an
thinking,
interview about it. That's how I knew it.
Well, even with after I jokingly guessed Coulter Wall, I was like, I feel like Luke Bryan's family could have been peanut farmers, and then I don't know, and then you just when you came out with the dead brother, I was like, no, it's Luke Bryan.
So
what is?
Here's his story. Homie has not had it easy. So at the age of 19, right before moving to Nashville, Luke Bryan's brother was killed in a car accident. As a result, Luke changed paths and instead went to college, graduating with a bachelor's degree in business administration. However, after graduating, Luke's dad encouraged him to pursue his original goal of moving to Nashville to become a musician. Third clue. In 2007, Luke's sister died due to unknown causes right before his Grand Ole Opry debut. 7 years later...
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I
didn't know that one.
Yeah, well, there's more. So 7 years later...
I know there's more.
Yeah. 7 years later, his brother-in-law passed away, leaving their children parentless. So I
remember that.
Yeah, as a result, Luke began raising their nephew while also taking a parental role over their two nieces who were already old enough to watch over themselves by that point. And then, last clue, this artist's 2013 album was named the ACM Album of the Decade. That was Crash My Party.
Really? Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, just like Jason Aldean won the Artist of the Decade.
Yeah, if I didn't happen to know about all that crap that he's had to go through, I would probably not have gotten that album. Well, if you had told me the title, I would have, but you probably wouldn't have told me the title.
Why would I?
What? Look, bro, I don't know. Sometimes Canadians are stupid, I guess. I don't know.
Imagine that. Imagine who the frick. I just hopped on and was like, this artist's first album was titled...
Crash My Party.
Not even that. Like, this artist has albums named This One's For You, What You See Is What You Get, and Growing Up. Who is it?
Who is this?
This artist's name is Luke Combs. Who is this?
I'll have to pull out the Luke Combs sometime, though. I'm going to have to do that.
That'd be a good one.
That'll be interesting.
I'm excited to see what you can
There's too many country artists out there. Yeah, that's one thing I run into when I prep for this, though, is like, who do I gotta think of people? And so it's like, and I just forget that some people exist sometimes. Yep. Like, I probably would have done Riley Green a while ago. But I didn't. But at the same time, I try to think of artists that I normally wouldn't think of. Like, I did Trace Atkins that one time. I don't listen to Trace Atkins unless I'm listening to Where the Country Girl's At. That's on repeat 24/7.
Club banger. That's how Jaron gets his ladies.
Where they at? Mr. Worldwide.